Meantime, we've got a deep card coming your way. Ready for some boxing? Omar Juarez is still only 22 years old. Exciting young fighter, still a highly regarded prospect. Coming off his first pro loss, he's already come back and gotten a win. Taking on the cowboy, Ryan Karl. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Juarez is 5'9", 4-inch reach advantage for Ryan Karl. He's 30 years old, he's 19-3. He's been knocked out 3 times, but he went down swinging against Mario Barrios, the man who fights Keith Thurman tonight in the main event. It will be hard hitting while it lasts. Let's go to the ring for the very first time tonight. Always a pleasure to go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome from the Michelob Ultra Arena here at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Premier Boxing Champions presents Fox Sports PBC Fight Night. And we extend a special welcome to the brave men and women serving around the world and joining us tonight on AFN, the American Forces Network. Well, fans, this bout of the ring is sanctioned by the WBC. President is Mauricio Suleiman. Our judges scoring from ringside, Glenn Feldman, Chris Migliori, and Steve Weisfeld. All right, fans, here we go with our opening attraction, super lightweights in the ring. We're scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing white trunks with red and green trim, hailing from Brownsville, Texas. He weighed in at 141 3/4 pounds. With a record of 12 wins and 1 loss, he has 5 wins. Coming by way of knockout, introducing Omar El Relámpago Juarez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round attraction. Wearing black trunks with silver trim, he hails from Milano, Texas. He weighed in at 145 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 19 wins, 3 losses with 12 wins. Coming by way of knockout, introducing Cowboy Ryan Karl. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Mike Ortega.
Okay, gentlemen, you received your instructions. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Ready to get underway here. First of 6 fights here tonight in Las Vegas. 2 here on Fox FS1, FS2, and then we've got 4 coming your way on the Fox pay-per-view. Brian Kenny, Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis here ringside. Heidi Andral, Jordan Plant ringside as well. Larry Hazard is our unofficial scorer, and there is young Omar Juarez. Bounced back already from his first professional loss, outpointing Jairo Lopez in September, and we're underway. Ryan Karl, again in the cowboy trunks. Ooh. Hard-hitting Omar Juarez in the white with green and red.
Yeah, Juarez is really starting to mature real well, and he says he's even feeling his power now coming into play where he didn't maybe just a year ago. He's a young man, so that right hand looked really solid. He's looking for a knockout. He hasn't had one in a couple of fights.
Good body shot there and a combination off a good jab. His first pro loss, Lennox, was against All Rivera of the Philippines. And I just watched that fight back, and I got the sense that Omar thought at the time, I can punch my way out of anything, which isn't the case. I think he's got to mature more, but wow, what a fighter, what a slugger.
Yeah, I mean, he's very accurate. Even right now, he looks very sharp coming out in this first round. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, and Karl's in great shape. You know, he came in, he had plenty of notice for this fight. The other thing about All Rivera was he was a southpaw, Brian.
Your greatest fear, yes. And
now yours.
Yes, true. And look, Juarez was dropped in the 9th round. That was the decisive points. It was a very close loss. He barely lost that fight, but Rivera came in inspired in the shape of his life. And Ryan Karl, by the way, is a very tough guy. Just mentioned briefly, he went out swinging against Mario Barrios in October of 2020. Right hand there, swinging from Juarez. But in that fight, he got his head split open on an accidental headbutt, a clash of heads. He'd already been wobbled, he'd already been dropped, and yet he was landing hard right hands on Barrios just before he got knocked out.
Yeah, he made a good account for himself. He really did. And that's why, you know, Omar Juarez has got to, you know, if he can dispatch Ryan Karl with ease or early.
That shows
a big,
something.
yeah, it does. It shows a lot.
Final minute, round number 1, scheduled for 10. Again, Omar Juarez, again, is 22 years old out of Brownsville, Texas. Very impressive young man. Talked about him a lot as a motivational speaker. Yeah, even when he was in high school, he was speaking to junior high kids, inspiring them, try to do better with their lives. And he's done a lot here as a young pro. Sharp with the double jab.
Yeah, that.
Beautiful.
If you're just joining us, we welcome you aboard here in Las Vegas. You're watching a little college basketball, and right now you're in round number 1. Brian Kenny, Joe Goose, and Lennox Lewis. Heidi Androl and Jordan Plant here in Las Vegas. Kate Abdo and Sean Porter with us as well. It's a full night of boxing. You're watching the final seconds of round 1. Omar Juarez and Ryan Karl.
Ryan Karl usually jumps in with a jab, but this fight he's actually jumping in with 2 jabs.
For those of you who are just joining us again, we'll show you a little opening up here in the early seconds of this first round. And as usual, fellas, Juarez comes out firing.
Yeah, very sharp.
Yeah, he's going to drop a right hand. I mean, if we get that, and this is it right here, probably. Yeah, that's it right there. That was the first punch he threw within the first 10 seconds. Yeah, you know, that first punch, Lennox, is it the one that really gets to you, you know, when you have or really not warmed up yet?
Yeah, that's that. I always call that the warm-up punch. Anytime you get hit solid like that, it's like, come on.
You put your phone up, you can
just
scan
point
it,
the phone.
take a picture, and it'll fire up. Anyway, round number
Right.
2. By the way, the punches landed, according to CompuBox, not a wide discrepancy, 16-12. So again, Karl is game, he's in here, but the harder shots, I mean, Juarez, Joe, do you like the way he explodes with the punches? Would you like to see him change pace, or do you just like him going all out?
No, look, I mean, you got to fight the way you feel, you know, and your instincts take you. And Omar Juarez is figuring out this game right now.
Wow.
And he's getting older. He's 22 years old. He's getting stronger. He's already quick and smart.
That was a beautiful right hand, by the way, too, to even the counter. So when he's in the flow, but you're right, you can see he loves to explode with the punches.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even seen him get going on his left hooks. You know, he'll double, triple, and quadruple up on left hands, which I'm sure if the fight goes long enough, we'll see.
And there's one thing that he's doing good is slipping and coming down to the body, slipping to the left and hitting to the body on the left side.
Now you see CompuBox has it 21-21, and there are punches landed by Ryan Karl, but the harder shots are clearly from Juarez.
Yeah, harder and more accurate.
Straight up good body shot there by Juarez as well. Again, it's a 22-year-old kid on the way up. He's already had his first pro loss, learning as he goes, but he's a top prospect. I guess we can still call him a prospect at 22.
Of course.
Yeah, and he's moving the head a lot. I love to see that.
And you notice Karl, when he gets on the inside, he's rough. He'll double, triple up on little chop right hands to your ear. He'll muscle you on the inside, something that, you know, a guy who's had his experience has learned by now.
You know, he took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, but a lot of times when you're in this game as an opponent, especially after COVID and the shutdown, 3 weeks is a lot of time. We have guys taking it on a day's notice, hours' notice.
Yeah, but
not easy.
Ryan Karl's the type of guy who's always working at his craft. He's never far from the gym.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time in the gym working out, so he's always ready. He likes these type of competitions anyway. Oh, good right hand by Juarez.
Juarez spinning out of the corner. Karl can't find him with the right hand. Good head movement by Juarez.
Well, it's the speed of Juarez that's going to give Karl trouble. And what happens is later on as the rounds go by, Karl tends to slow down and open up a little bit. And, you know, that's probably something that Juarez has noticed watching tape and is going to probably try to capitalize on down the road.
And Karl, like I said, he used to jump in with his first punch.
Yep.
Now he's not jumping in. He's actually using the double jab to get in.
He is, and he's quite...
Oh!
Hard shot, that hook drove him back. Karl was hurt, regains his footing and tries to get back in. Fires back with a right hand, eats a right hand from Juarez.
That's that left hook I was talking about from Juarez.
That moved his whole body, Joe.
It's sharp, it's strong, and it's quick.
Thudding shot. Big shots landed by Juarez at the end of round 2. Back for round number 3, Omar Juarez and Ryan Karl, and Juarez with a terrific second round. You can see that on the left-hand side of your screen, that hook that drove Karl back.
Yeah, we had missed that, and here's a little right hand over the top. Now that landed a little bit behind the ear, which doesn't do you any good. Now here's a nice little slip from Omar Juarez, and then came back with a left hook, hit him right on the temple, hit Karl on the temple, which makes you lose your equilibrium a little bit.
Sharp right hand by Juarez in that exchange. You can see Karl's toughness.
You gotta keep those punches up, okay? That was way low, all right? Okay.
That's the great Mike Ortega, warning Omar Juarez about a low blow. But in the meantime, Juarez had just scored, and then Karl hit a blow right there. You see, but Juarez had just scored a nice left hook, right hand counter right before that low blow call.
Karl's getting after it now. He's taking his lumps.
Yeah.
But again, he's very game. You can see in just watching him in 15 seconds, you can see his limitations, and yet you can see his strengths.
Exactly right. But he makes up for all those weaknesses or discrepancies by being really rugged, really rough, and he's tough.
By the way, he doesn't just wear the hat. He's an actual cowboy.
Yeah.
He's not all hat, no cattle, as they say down south. He eats deer meat, goes out hunting, eats his own meat, hunts for it, gets it, and then he gets in here, he trains hard, and he's ready for world-class competition.
Well,
big hook by Juarez. Shakes Karl, drives him back.
That was a beautiful double hook, body to head.
Karl back with the right hand. Not bad. He really takes a good shot.
And Juarez was doing that from the first round, hitting him to the body. Now this time he brought it upstairs.
Karl is bloodied. You can see that over his left eye.
He's really taken a pounding right now from Juarez, who just looks like he's matured just in the past year since we've seen him in the past.
Yeah.
He's really looking strong. He's feeling comfortable in the ring, and he's just being very accurate, and he's really giving a lesson to Karl right now.
Karl's still throwing punches, though. You have to give him credit. He's staying on his feet, trying not to reach. Eats a hook there. Lennox, to your point, he said against Mario Barrios, he was reaching forward, trying to press, and that got him into trouble.
Even now he's pressing, and it's getting him into trouble because Juarez is just taking his time and throwing good combinations.
Good hard scrap here, round number 3. Again, Karl coming in as the opponent. Juarez there, right hand counter. Beautifully done, misses, and then lands with the hook.
Well, let me just tell you something. What Juarez is doing is he's slipping and weaving, like you pointed out earlier, and coming off those weaves and slips with counter punches, and they're just brilliant.
Making
really
him pay,
nice.
no question, Joe. Final 20 seconds, round number 3. Karl still throwing punches. Juarez, though, looks terrific tonight.
See that beautiful counter right hand right there off of Karl's right hand. Boy, he just rolled his shoulder and came back with a beautiful right hand with Omar Juarez.
A lot of action here in the first 3 rounds. Slightly one-sided with Omar Juarez landing the harder shot, but Ryan Karl, the cowboy, staying in this fight. They're working on the eye of Ryan Karl, trying to get ready for round number 4, and he is taking hard shots. I know he can take it, but Joe, he is taking hard shots.
There's an example of that weave. Omar Juarez gets under that right hand, touches the body, and that sets up the left hook right to the chin. Karl smiles, but he's buzzed right there. There it is. And then this is one he omits hitting the body this time, Juarez, and drops the left hand right on the chin with the left hook.
Sebastian Juarez, Omar's brother, who I believe was in the Nationals this weekend. We get a little update there from Heidi Androl. Heidi, how did he do?
Yeah, well, in fact, he turned 17 this week. He was supposed to compete in the National Silver Gloves tournament. Unfortunately, his flight got canceled. He wasn't able to get another one to get there in time. The silver lining, he gets to be here for his big brother, Omar. You mentioned how inspiring Omar is to young people. He's most inspiring to his younger brother, and he said, Omar told me suffering his first loss and bouncing back showed Sebastian what believing in yourself can do. He said, we come from a small town in Brownsville, Texas. No world champions, no pro sports teams. Our goal as the Juarez brothers is to be remembered as the greats in and outside the ring for their community. Ryan?
Heidi, thank you. They are inspirational. What's with the flight? How did he not? He didn't get to the Nationals. Joe, it's like you at LAX. Remember that? TMZ remembers. I'm only kidding. You're funny. Boy, stuff flying off the tables here. All right, round number 4. There's a lot of, there's snow all over the country, I understand, but that's terrible.
I was expecting Vito Melanecki Jr. To end up in Vegas today, but he couldn't get out of
Couldn't get
New
out
Jersey.
either. Thank you, Lennox. Lennox is doing housekeeping here, putting the stuff back together.
One thing I did wanted to point out is that Ryan Karl got his eye doctored up really nice by Mike Rodriguez in the corner there.
He's got a real pro.
Yeah, he really is. Because if you don't have a good cut man in this game, you're in trouble.
You know, Joe, I'll say this about Karl. You know, you said he's smiling, but he got hurt. He likes to fight.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Ryan Karl likes to fight.
He also can take a good punch too, but you don't want to be a boxer to take in punches all the time.
Right. No,
you
no
want to be
question.
able to give them.
And you're going, and look, you know what you're getting. It's, hey, should we take the fight with Omar Juarez? You know what you're getting. You're getting a thumping 22-year-old.
Yeah. Karl is taking his time and, you know, studying before throwing those wild punches, because when he's throwing those wild punches, he's not looking about his defense and he's going to get hit.
Well, Karl, you know, up till now, this is probably his best round in terms of putting pressure on Omar, and Omar not really being active. Omar's kind of sitting back a little bit this round. And look, I mean, Karl's going to come after you no matter which way. You're going to have to really take him out to get him to stop coming after you. Like that. Look, he's going to throw right hands. He's going to throw body shots. He's going to suck up punches. He's going to keep on coming.
He showed his toughness throughout his career. Final 40 seconds of round number 4. He had a 2-fight series against Kevin Watts. He was TKO'd in the first fight, came back 9 months later and stopped Watts in the middle rounds.
Yeah, I saw that. In the meantime, Ryan Karl landed a really good body shot on Omar Juarez here just a few seconds before, you know, now. And I like that one right there.
Combination, look at this. Karl coming back, the more active fighter here in final seconds.
Juarez should make him finish his combination, then come back with his own combination.
By the way, to your point, Joe, Ryan Karl now has the points edge, punches landed at least in this round, so perhaps he even won this round. We weren't thinking that way a few rounds ago.
Nope.
Welcome back to PBC on FS1. Cowboy Karl is a very busy fighter. I mean, according to CompuBox, he averages 82 punches a round, when the junior welterweight average is 58 punches a round. I mean, this guy loves to fight, but the more punches you throw, the more likely you're open to shots. And as we can see in this fight, he's getting hit quite a bit. But the funny thing is, he told me he actually has great footwork and is a true boxer, but he always gets caught up in these gunfights. And you know what? I think it's the true cowboy in him, guys.
That's a good point. You know, he said, I like to fight. He said, which doesn't always serve me well. In that last round, by the way, he did outland, according to CompuBox, total punches 19-18 against Omar Juarez. Otherwise, you'd figure Juarez is winning all of these rounds. But as we get into round number 5, making a little more, getting a little closer, and perhaps even taking a round. Let's find out. Larry Hazard is our unofficial scorer, Hall of Famer. Larry, how did you score that last round? How did you score it overall?
Overall, I got Juarez ahead 39-37, and I gave the last round to Karl, 10-9.
Larry, thank you. Good to know. We wondered, you know, because the judge could reasonably do that. Otherwise, that looks like the way it should be scored, obviously. But it speaks to Karl's toughness that he could get whacked around like that and then come back and win a round.
I agree with Professor Larry Hazard, of course. I thought he won that round too. I said it to you right after the round ended. But we also pointed out that that was a round that looked like Omar Juarez took off, but maybe he didn't take it off as much as he was forced to take it off, because Karl is a bad dude and he's coming right back. He's trying to win this fight. That's the key.
No, I believe he took that round off, Joe.
Well, he might have.
Yeah,
I think
it's okay
the final
to take
minute,
him out of.
final minute, I think Karl, put his foot down on the accelerator and forced things, and won it. I'm with you, Joe. I've been practicing that at home. I'm with you, Joe. You're right, Joe. I've been practicing.
Repeat that 100 times.
There you go.
On the blackboard.
Write it on the blackboard. Final half of this 5th round between Omar Juarez, again in the white trunks, and Ryan Karl.
Oh,
the multicolored trunks.
that was it. He's going.
He got hit right on top of the
his
temple.
legs are bandy right now.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell you, Mike Ortega's not going to like that.
He says, next time I'll take away a point. Look at Karl firing back even after he's hurt. How tough is this kid? Comes back, right hand lands to the head of Juarez.
And the thing is that Ryan Karl had just landed a good right hand before he got countered, got hit on the temple by Juarez.
Juarez is just looking for that perfect shot right now, but he's doing the right thing, throwing some combinations in there and trying to end up for the hook.
Tries with the right hand. Karl comes right back with a 3-punch combination. Such a game kid. Right hand again, now right-handed combination to the body from Karl.
If Karl hadn't got wobbled a minute ago, he'd probably be winning this round as well.
Combination there from Juarez firing back. And Juarez has that first pro loss against All Rivera. And in that fight, again, I just watched it back and I felt like he thought, hey, the more I'll just punch this guy, eventually he's gonna go. But when you move up in class, they don't just go.
No.
And Ryan Karl, clearly, you're gonna have to put him on his back.
And Karl's throwing a really nice body shot too with that left hook. You know, so those will add up. That's why fighters throw it. They hurt.
Interesting round 5 here in Las Vegas. Back for 6 after this.
Good round. Yeah, keep going.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Omar Juarez has hurt Ryan Karl a number of times in this fight, including here in round 5 with that big right hand. But every time, Joe, you think he's going away, Ryan Karl comes back.
Yeah, and he comes back even stronger. And I like what he does. He's not, he's very determined and he's very tough.
Moving forward here, throwing a combination toward Juarez. Again, Juarez is 22 years old, kind of a blue chip prospect, multiple national champion, 90 and 30 as an amateur.
Joe, what do you think Juarez should do right now if you're in the corner?
Well, I mean, look, Juarez has slowed down. Number one, I would tell him, don't let this guy get any momentum against you. You know, you've got to start using your jab and keep your punches flowing. Beat him to the punch a lot. You got to punch all the time. You can't waste time in the ring. You got 3 minutes to work. You got 1 minute in the corner to rest. Use that 3 minutes wisely and outwork this guy. Don't let him outwork you because that can give the round to him.
Yeah, because right now I think he's waiting for that perfect punch. You know, he's slipping, waiting for that perfect punch, but he's got to work into that perfect punch. He's got to throw combinations, and the combinations he throws, he's got to put that accent on that last punch to try and take him out.
You know, Lennox, in his last fight, Juarez had Jairo Lopez hurt badly in the 5th round, and he couldn't put him away. He won going away, but I think he's going to have to get used to the limitations of his own power. He's not able to just knock guys out of the ring at this point.
And he's still got to work on trying to break them down.
Well, you remember, it took Mario Barrios 8 rounds to get Karl out, okay?
Right.
So,
and Karl was swinging as he flew to the ground.
Exactly.
Right?
We're only in the 6th round. We're going to give Juarez a little bit, and obviously not as experienced as Mario Barrios. And he's doing a really good job right now. He may have dropped a round or 2 in this fight. Most certainly one. But Karl's a tough guy. You know, he just is not, it's hard to beat a guy when they got their mind made up to win.
He was stopped in that 6th round, and as I mentioned earlier, they usually get roughed up, he'd gotten dropped, but then they had a clash of heads, and the blood was just pouring. Here's a nice right hand by Karl. Blood was pouring down from the forehead, the middle of the forehead of Ryan Karl, and yet he was still landing hard right hands against Barrios.
Right.
Later got stopped, but it was a remarkable round in a loss.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. In the meantime, you're right. Karl landed a great right hand, a good body shot on Omar Juarez. I'm going to tell you, he's starting to get to him, and he's roughing him up a little bit right there. He's not letting Omar Juarez off the hook.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. He's standing right in front of him, Joe. Traps him in the corner, comes back, and he is even faster now, coming back with combinations immediately, and that seems to stall Juarez's offense.
Sometimes when a guy takes your best punch, it works on you mentally. I know you know that, Joe. For Juarez, he's a young fighter, so he's kind of saying, hey, I hit this guy with my best punch, and he's still here. Maybe I got to take it easy. I want to save my energy.
Not only is he still here, he's stepping on the gas against it, too.
Let's go upstairs, go to Kate Abdo and Sean Porter. Kate?
Thank you very much, guys. Listen, we are looking ahead to our main event this evening. It's a big one coming up. Keith Thurman, Mario Barrios. Keith Thurman freshly awoken from his nap, making sure that he's getting hydrated. His wife, Brianna, holding him down ahead of this fight. His rock, she is, he said. New baby as well in the picture, new purpose. Pay-per-view headliner, baby. You got to look right on the night as well. Am I right, Sean? Getting the hair ready.
It's all got to look good. It's all got to look right.
How big is this fight for Keith Thurman tonight?
It's humongous for Keith. Not a humongous name, Mario Barrios, not a humongous name, but it's a humongous moment for Keith Thurman, a moment for him to remind us who he is and what he can do. And that's what we're looking for him to do tonight.
And don't get it twisted, big challenge as well against Mario Barrios.
Big challenge. Yeah, I mean, big. Mario Barrios is 5'10", he's got longer arms, He can go to the body. I mean, this is a big kid fighting at 147 pounds, his natural weight now. So expect him to be even more powerful than we saw him at 135 and 140.
Let's send you back to the guys ringside.
Okay, thank you. And Sean, I know what you're saying. A lot on the line for Keith Thurman. Looking for a great second act. Former welterweight champion of the world. He's been gone for 2.5 years. Razor close loss to Manny Pacquiao. He's in our main event tonight against Mario Barrios. Here, round 7. Omar Juarez and Ryan Karl, and what has been a hard-hitting fight. Karl comes back throwing combinations from the start, gets answered by Juarez.
Well, if I'm in Omar Juarez's corner, I'm going, look, you're letting this guy back in the fight right now, and there's still enough rounds to swing a decision his way if you don't, step on the gas here.
It got away from him against Joel Rivera, Joe. You're right, to your point. We thought, all right, eventually he'll get this guy. He didn't get that guy. Nope. He got dropped. Let's go back to Larry Hazard and just see how he's scoring these rounds. Larry, how do you have it?
Well, hey, Joe, you're right on it, Joe. He's letting Karl right back into this fight. You know, this guy Karl is a tough kid. I got Juarez ahead right now, 58-56. But that last round, I gave to Karl. You can't take this kid for granted. He's tough, and he's letting him back in the fight.
Well,
Larry, thank you. I just want to point out, you can see he only gave him 2 rounds, and yet 58-56. And suddenly, he's right there.
Yeah, Juarez needs to throw a lot more right hands because it only takes one punch and it changes the aspect of this fight. So he's got to start throwing that right hand and some left hooks. And even go back to the body.
That cut is either opened up on Karl or there's a new cut, which I think is a new cut.
He just caught him again there, Joe, just as you said that, too, and the blood went spurting. There's a forearm under the jaw. Yeah.
Elbow.
And
One
deserves
point.
to be.
Oh, man.
Oh, taking a point.
Elbow. 1 point. Elbow.
That was a blatant forearm,
stay in that
though.
corner.
Elbow.
Understand? Don't get out. Hey, Doc.
Hey guys, so I'm standing in Cowboy Karl's corner. He's yelling to his trainers, I can't see out of my eye. I can't see out of my eye. The doctor's coming up the steps to look at it right now.
I can't right now until the blood flow and gets in it. Then I can't see shit, but I can see.
Okay.
What's that?
You better keep it clean, you understand? I don't have to disqualify you.
What do you want me to do? Let's go, let's fight. I'm good. I can see great. Let's go.
Okay, go there in the corner.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. If you say you can't see, they're going to stop the fight.
Yes.
And Ryan Karl reversed that, said, oh, I can see fine. So if you say I can't see, a doctor's not going to allow you back out.
I was shocked that he actually said that because when I heard that, I thought they were going to stop the fight.
You got to remember something. If Karl wins this round, along with the point taken away, that's a 2-point swing this round.
Right, Joe.
This could really turn the tide of this fight.
Well, that wild right hand by Karl, and he lands, and he's able to slip under that right hand from Juarez. Right back in this fight. I think Karl is feeling it, even though it is difficult for him to see with that blood.
And Juarez has to know that. That's why I'm saying Juarez got to throw more right hands. When a guy can't see out of his left hand, he can't see that right hand coming.
Combination from Juarez. The combination is answered
by Karl. That was a nice right hand.
So Karl's throwing a stiff jab, too. He's able to drive him back, and he's able to spin Juarez back a little bit. Firing now. We got a real firefight in this round.
Karl wants to stay close to him because he can't see, and he wants to make sure he's in arm distance.
Where he can actually feel what's coming instead of seeing.
Right.
Yeah. I'll just say quickly, I thought that forearm shiver to the jaw, I think Ortega was right to take a point away.
It was from
Juarez.
They're too blatant. Too blatant. You can bump with that forearm, but you can't throw it out like that.
Yeah, so again, that was Juarez who threw that forearm out there under the jaw, had a point taken away by Mike Ortega in a wild, wild round. There's Ryan Karl, and you can see the damage done right over that left eye. We're trying to find it here if it came from either a clash of heads, but you can see that the punches are landing on that cut and opening things up. And I think in that previous round, fellas, he's wiping at it. He wanted the blood at least to be wiped away from it. All right, there's the headbutt, fellas. That could be the headbutt with a clash of heads, opened up that cut right over the eye of Karl.
Well, we were having a little talk with the truck, and I said that type of cut only happens with a headbutt, and he reacted to it, fell against the ropes there, and so it was definitely a new cut, it's right in the eyebrow, but it looks like it's running north to south, not east to west,
Good points, Joe. And let's show once again, Omar Juarez came up with the forearm, and normally our reaction is always, oh, do you have to take a point away? But I think this was egregious enough at this point. You're gaining an advantage. You cannot do that.
The reason why he did that is because Karl was holding him, so he was trying to, shiver him off. That kind of shiver foot that a football player does.
Mike exactly Ortega is the referee. Joe, you were giving him credit before. I think he made the right call there. Did you agree or disagree with that?
No, I agree only because you've got to be more subtle when you do stuff like that. He really picked up the elbow, which is, a no-no, and it's a big one because the elbows can cut you. So he just made it a little too blatant. You got to be a little bit more sophisticated when you use that forearm.
And Keith Thurman, speaking of keep it clean, is cleaning up right now. Boy, live shots of shaving. Lennox, imagine if we had this back in your day. And you're back there watching some Western or something, getting ready for David Tua.
Yeah, you got to keep it clean. If he has any stubbles, that could add to any cuts.
Such a good point.
When he puts Vaseline on his face, it just slides off. The punches just slide off.
Again, that is the last fight tonight, the main event. Keith Thurman, Mario Barrios. 6 fights tonight. And you know what, guys? This was the one fight where I thought, okay, I know who's going to win this fight. And maybe not. Because all the other fights, you could make a case for either guy. This time, it looked like Ryan Karl was definitely the opponent. Ryan Karl, to your point, Joe, that you made in the last round, if a judge gave him that last round and give him the extra point, this could be an even fight, which is stunning 8 rounds in.
Well, obviously, Ryan Karl does not like to be an opponent.
Right. He's not going with the script.
Yeah.
Correct.
And he just landed a nice little short right hand, left uppercut, and then they both traded jabs. Karl's keeping the jab going, and he's keeping the pressure coming. He's looking for a fight right now.
Yeah, Juarez needs to pick up the pace a little bit. He can't let these last rounds fade away.
When we come back in the next round, we're going to find out from Larry Hazard how he had that last round, because it's very possible we'd be looking at an even fight. Beautiful combination by Ryan Karl, and even this one is close as far as punches connected at the very least. Fascinating fight as we open up in Las Vegas. Here at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, the Michelob Ultra Arena, and this was the hot spot for boxing, what, 15 years ago or so. Lennox, who'd you fight here?
Oh, everybody. This was my hotel. I love fighting at Mandalay Bay. This was my one.
Nice.
All my fans used to come here, and it was a great time. We had a party after the fight.
What?
Yeah, Mandalay Bay used to be
fun. As we were in the card show yesterday, Lennox said, oh, they used to give me a nice room. I said, did they, Lennox? That's surprising. The heavyweight champion of the world, they gave you a nice room? That's nice. Let's get to Larry Hazard, because these last 2 rounds, I wonder if Ryan Karl had taken either, and again, he has that point as well. Larry, how do you have it?
Well, here we go. I got Juarez ahead right now by 1 point. Karl has pulled this fight into a 1-point lead for Juarez, 76-75. In round 7, okay, I did give it to Juarez, but with the point taken away, it ended up a 9-9 round. But obviously, this kid didn't get the memo that he was an opponent, because he's turning it on, man, and he's taking charge of this fight right now.
Yeah, Larry, thank you. This is supposed to be a meritocracy. This is where you're supposed to get a fair shake, right, guys? And this is where, if Ryan Karl's landing, scoring shots, had the benefit of the point being taken away from Omar Juarez, he's right back in this fight. We did not expect this.
No.
Yeah, Juarez came out of his counter punching. He needs to go back to that. When he feels a shot, just counter punch with, there's that right hand. I've been telling him to throw a lot more.
Yeah, and he landed it. But Karl, I don't know if he's getting used to getting hit with the punches or he's numb to them right now, but
there's that right hand again.
Yeah, he's kind of absorbing them right now, and he keeps marching forward. On the other hand, what a great job from the corner of Karl to stop that bleeding on those 2 cuts now.
Yeah, no question.
And they're big, and Mike Rodriguez did a great job.
Juarez needs to throw a left hand to the body and a right over the top. He'll have some good success if he throws that combination.
See if he's able to do that here. We've got a minute left in round number 9. So only scheduled for 10, so there's one more 3-minute stanza after this right hand lands by Karl. He is being outlanded, though. Juarez is outlanding Karl 12-4 currently in this round. And so maybe judges are just seeing this all Juarez. But Karl is doing enough to make it a question. No question about that.
Yes, and I think right now, because of the speed of Omar Juarez, that if Karl got in a little bit closer where he could nullify that speed and maybe, because he's certainly not as quick as Juarez, but if he gets inside, he has a chance to rough him up and rip off those combinations that he did earlier in the past few rounds, where he threw a 3, 4, or 5 punch combination, and he does that when he's in close.
Good judges, by the way, for this fight. They're bringing out the big guns. Steve Weisfeld is judging this fight, Glenn Feldman, Chris Migliore. So the guys that are here for the main event and the semifinal, they're working this fight earlier in the night. So it'll be interesting. I'm wondering, like, could the judges see it all Juarez? It's possible. We're not seeing it that way. Omar Juarez continues to land on Ryan Karl, but Ryan Karl keeps on swinging. Final round, round 10. And I tell you what, Ryan Karl likes to hunt. He has a lot of deer meat in camp. I'm ready to have some deer meat, Joe, because whatever it is, it's working for Ryan Karl.
Yeah, Ryan Karl's punch output is a lot. He's throwing a lot of punches. He may be outworking Juarez right now. What do you say, Joe?
Yeah,
well,
634 to 433 total punches thrown. You're right, Lennox.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think, you know, especially just that replay, that was a beautiful counter. That was a nice right hand by Karl. There it is, in close, those combinations. That's where he should be fighting Juarez. Don't let him get a lot of distance so Juarez can land those long, good
Karl says,
shots.
yeah, let's fight. We're going to fight. Let's swing. He's ready to swing. I threw out in the last round. I wondered, Joe, I just wanted to put it out there for people to think. It's a possibility of judges watching this fight, just landing the scoring blows and scoring it that way. It might be all Juarez. Maybe we're seeing a different fight. I don't know.
One thing, I think Juarez is slightly ahead for sure, but I got to tell you something. Ryan Karl's made this fight interesting and very exciting. Very exciting.
Trading shots on the inside, and Karl has had a good engine all night. He is not lax. We wondered, too, if he would fade, Lennox. You brought that up earlier. He is not faded.
He's not faded.
No,
Juarez is faded.
And he was given a lot of reason from Juarez
yes,
to fade.
You're right. He got thumped early on, Joe. You're right.
Did, but he persevered. He stayed with it.
Oh, right hand there by Karl.
Hand. Watch that shoulder. Let's go.
Getting a warning from the shoulder afterwards, but that was a long right hand. A rare, good, clean shot there by Karl. And now Juarez a little more desperate. Tries to throw here. Not much time left.
Juarez has to counter punch.
Yep.
When he gets hit, that's where he needs to come back with the right hand.
You're right, Lennox. And plus
he's not counter punching.
Plus, even in close.
That right landed by Karl again. Another right hand. Now he goes to the body. Combination from Ryan Karl. Look at this, the guts on this guy.
It's amazing. He's really,
he's really
winning this
outworking
round.
it.
Wow. I think he buzzed Juarez with that right hand.
He's landing clean right hands now. We did not see that throughout the evening. You know, maybe he wins a round or two, but now he's landing those clean shots, and Juarez looks very frustrated.
Well, there's less than 40 seconds left, and I'm telling you, he's got Juarez buzzed right now.
Juarez is a little bit tired as well.
Well, yeah, he's wobbly leg too. You see he's not reacting very well right now. He's just covering up.
Final 20 seconds of this fight. Ryan Karl continues to move forward. Now Juarez steps back, tries to re-engage. Counters with the hook.
I mean, Karl should really be relentlessly aggressive right now. This is 10 seconds left.
Uppercut there by Juarez. Karl wades in again, final seconds. Crowd that came here early, rewarded with an outstanding 10 rounds.
Did they call this a draw? What do you think?
He may have won that round too, Joe. When I say Karl, he may have stolen that round. Not stolen, he may have earned that round. Fascinating. We'll go to the judges, mentioned good judges. This will be interesting. Back in a moment. Quickly, had it 95-94, that close. That's how close he thought Ryan Karl was there. He gave it to Omar Juarez. Let's see how the judges had it.
I agree with that.
All right, let's go back to Jimmy Lennon Jr., find out officially.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Steve Weisfeld, scores about 95-94 in favor of Ryan Karl. Judge Glenn Feldman sees it 95-94 in favor of Omar Juarez. Judge at ringside, Chris Migliore, scores the bout 96-93 in favor of the winner,
Juarez.
Omar El Relámpago Juarez.
Well, that's how close that was.
Yeah.
That's razor close, and deservedly so. Credit to Ryan Karl for making it that tough on that very good young fighter.
Yeah, let me tell you, Karl did a great work. He worked hard. He wanted to win it. There was nothing stopping him. And if he was to lose that, he wanted to lose his fight on his back.
See, the punches landed in favor of Omar Juarez, but you're right, Lennox, you brought the punches thrown. Karl, 721.
Right.
Steve Weisfeld, by the way, is considered by many to be the top working judge right now. He gave it to Ryan Karl. It's possible to do.
Yeah, I look, I mean, I said there's a possibility for a draw there, and there almost was.
Yeah.
But then again, if push came to shove, you'd have to give it to Juarez by a slight.
Wow, look how emotional Omar Juarez is right there.
They know they're lucky right now.
Well, he was forced to work by the Cowboy, Ryan Karl. Great opening fight.